Thank you. Welcome to today's Dad Talk, Leaders Are Readers, with our guest author, Dr. Khalid White. Dr. White is an award winner in fields of education, film, and literature. A career educator, Khalid began educating California's youth and young adults in 2004. Presently, he is an African-American study professor at San Juan City College, located in the heart of California, Silicon Valley. As an entrepreneur, Khalid owns multimedia company Black Empowerment. The company focuses on education, empowerment, and equity. He is the author of the book Black Fatherhood and the award-winning documentary by the same name, Black Fatherhood. Khalid serves as the intersector of education, public health, the community, advancing equity, inclusion, and social justice. If you can you help me welcome my friend, Mr. Dr. Khalid Scott? You can clap your hands, put a clap in the chat. Thank you for welcoming my friend, sir. Good to see you again, sir.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for that glowing introduction, Greg. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and I'm glad to be back.
Look, I like to say that Shy and Cali have collided. I'm in Chicago, he's in California, so we're just gonna call it a Shy Cali that collided.
There we go.
Good to see you, sir. Look, man, awesome. It's good to have you back. Good to have you back, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. So look, let's get right on into it. We don't have long. Let's get right on into it. So my first question is that tell us about the two books. I may get it wrong, but help me clear it up. Hermanito and Hermanita.
Yes, you pretty much nailed it right there. Yeah, Hermanito and Hermanita, which is little brother and little sister, right?
Okay.
So the two books are bilingual in English and Spanish for dual language learners. They're really, I like to say, Greg, based off a true story. And what it is, the basis of the story is that the older siblings are tasked by their parents to teach the younger siblings, how to do things like chores around the house and how to be responsible, right? And so it's really a reflection of my daughter, my oldest daughter, kind of teaching my younger daughter and her younger cousins and things like that. They all kind of follow her. So as I saw the oldest around the house doing things the youngers would follow, right? So whatever she did, they did. And I'm the oldest brother, so whatever I did, my younger brother followed, right? So it's just kind of that type of thing. So it's teaching kids things like, washing dishes and let's help daddy, wash the car, let's help mommy make dinner, that type of things that kids can kind of see themselves reflected in and see the chores and the responsibilities they do reflected in. And so again, like I like to say, it's based on a true story, and again, it's written in English on one page, Spanish on the other page, so you can have the dual language learners because two languages is important nowadays.
Yeah, that was my next question about the language, man. I noticed that you got this dual, and I know with Brightpoint, we work with Spanish-speaking families, and so when we seen the book, we said, okay, this is an idea, an approach as it relates to fatherhood. A dual. We can reach two different language as related to that. Why did you choose to do that? How did that come up?
Just similar. I work with a lot of Spanish-speaking families and students and communities and that type of thing. And, in the state of California, it was once part of Mexico. So, a majority of our state population is Spanish-speaking and that type of thing. And so I just wanted to be able to bridge the gap between the English-speaking world and the Spanish-speaking world and merge the two. And I want to be able to touch both cultures, really, and make it more of a universal story, because whether you speak Spanish, English, or all languages in between, I think the story can resonate with families and kids. And so, that was my impetus.
So let me ask you this. So is it part of your thought is to have a series? Is this considered to be, are you considering a series in this?
Yeah, I am considering a series. Yes. You put some extra work on me, yes, but I am considering it to be a series. I feel like, you know, the two is a good start to the series, and we can build from there. But I have some thoughts on, you know, expanding into doing some other things in English and Spanish. And I really, let me just take a step back. I can't take the credit for the Spanish part. That was really my wife is a native Spanish speaker. So
Okay.
he's the one that put the Spanish and the Spanish translations and all that different type of stuff. Her and my mother-in-law, her mother, helped me with that. So again, we kind of bridging the gap that way. And so we have some ideas on expanding it beyond the two books, Hermanito and Hermanita. But yeah, it's forthcoming.
Yeah, I like the idea that you gave your wife a credit right in this. You made sure so it won't be a long summer for you. That's good, sir. That was good. That was wise.
Absolutely.
So tell us, man, about fatherhood and fathers reading to their children. You know, we're about to enter into the month of June, and June is, fatherhood month, and a lot of things is going on in the month of June as relates to fatherhood. I'm going to mention about some of the things that we're doing, and then let us know if you're doing anything in Cali as it relates to fatherhood, your organization as it relates to fatherhood in the month of June. So why is it important for fathers, or what is the benefits of fathers reading to the children?
Well, I mean, there's so many benefits, right, from a social, emotional standpoint, and also, from my opinion, a public health standpoint, right? You know, father engagement leads to a number of different positive outcomes, you know, public health related. But fathers reading to the kids helps things like the social emotional bonding. The child gets to see the father as a nurturer. Oftentimes, that's not the identity that fathers are given, is a nurturer and a caretaker. But reading and, you know, reading together is a nurturing, caretaking thing. The child also gets to see the father as a role model and as their first teacher, right? First male teacher. And so, you know, it just helps to build the bond and solidify the relationships in a lot of cases between the father and the child. And, you know, whether we like to assume that role or not, as teachers and nurturers, fathers do take on those roles in our own special way. That's not to take anything away from the mothers or from
Absolutely.
women. We can't and we won't, but we can also add our own yin to the yang. You know what I mean? So engaged fathers are protective factors. Engaged fathers is, you know, our public health supports, and literacy itself is a public health support. It keeps people away from, you know, higher rates of incarceration, critical thinking and decision making, all the things that literacy kind of, you know, leads. It's the windows and the mirrors type of scenario as well, right? The window, I can see from these books, I can see into another culture, another group that might not be my own. I can see people's experiences that are different from my own or that reflect my own.
I think
mirror part, right?
Yeah, I think it's important to definitely understand that fathers parent different, and there is a position where, as though there are some softness or some things we want to educate and do with our children, but it may look different because it's coming from the father. So you're absolutely right as it relates to, we are caring as well, and we do have a heart, and we want to make sure that we get it involved in the life of our children as well, because as you just mentioned, statistics shows that when the father is involved in the life of the child, a lot of benefits for the family, for the community. Everyone benefits when the father is involved. Yeah. Awesome, sir. Awesome. Look, if you have any questions, the chat is open. And so please put some of your questions in the chat. If you have any questions for Dr. Scott, Dr. Khalid, I got another Dr. Scott. His name is Khalid Scott. So I want to separate that. This is Khalid White, right? So Dr. White, so let me know, man, what else are you doing for June for fathers in the month of June? Is there anything else that you're doing as it relates to fathers? I know one of the things that we're doing is we're giving away this book to some of our coalition members, and I'll talk about that shortly too. But what else is you doing?
No, and thank you all for giving away the books. What I'm doing, as of actually starting tonight, I am doing a fatherhood series, workshop series with Black fathers in my area, and we'll be running between now and Father's Day. So we're going to start a fatherhood workshop series for Black dads with children 0 to 8. So I'm doing that with an organization out here called the 4Cs. And so, we're doing that for fathers in the community. Also, just trying to continue to uplift and support fathers in terms of visibility, in terms of making sure that we chip away at this absentee father stereotype that's saddled on Black men in specific. So just continuing to kind of push the narrative of, hey, we are involved, we want to be involved. There are some historic factors that keep Black men, and challenged, but at the same time, we're fighting against those challenges. So I think that the fatherhood series, the workshop series that I'm getting ready to be the facilitator of, similar to kind of what you do, Greg, is opening up some doors for the community, is opening up some doors for fathers who want to just get some tools and some resources. And as they say, iron sharpens iron. I'm getting sharpened with my own fatherhood skills as we continue to work together with other fathers. So that's what I'm doing for the month of June primarily.
Yep. Okay, awesome. That is awesome. Is there any questions in the tag? I want to make sure. I mean, in the chat. I want to make sure
I welcome all. If you have a question, please don't feel shy.
We're talking about leaders are readers, and we're talking about the conversation about how fathers, it's important for fathers to read to their children. And it may not be a read, and they may do something else that shows that he's involved and he's taking out time and spending time with the child. Because the main thing one of the things that I believe that it does, it allows the father to spend time with the child and begin to know the development of the child and how the child receive and learn. Some children learn different, and it's important that we get involved and stay involved in the life of the child so that we'll know as fathers, right? How do we understand them? How do we let them know that we're there and we're supportive of them? That's important. So that's really important. So is there any questions that anybody have at all? All right. Okay, that's one.
There are no questions in the chat at this time.
I see a question that came up. So Lisa, what feedback have you received from fathers who have participated? And I'm assuming you're talking about participating in the fatherhood groups. I actually, I just wrapped up a group with young dads, 18 to 24. And I got a lot of positive feedback from the young dads saying, thank you for opening like this space for us to be able to share our feelings and discuss and dialogue. It's interesting that we're all kind of going through some similar things, even if we are in the same household as dads, as partners, we're all kind of going through some similar things. And this was from, again, a group of dads, 18 to 24. So I did a young dads group as well. And they said, we rarely get a chance to kind of share our emotions, and thank you for opening up a space and making us feel like we can share. And so it was good to hear that and get that feedback. And with the young fathers in specific, I mean, it was a group that I wish that I had when I was a young dad, in my early and mid 20s.
Yeah, and brand new fathers.
And
we're talking about young fathers, brand new fathers too. Yeah.
Hey, yes, we have some dads in that group that I have a 3-month-old. I have an 18-month-old, or you have some dads who I'm 23 and I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
It ranged, but
yeah,
those were some of the feedback that I received. Yeah.
Awesome. I think it's important that we, as we begin to have that discussion, it's important to let the father know his role is important in the family, as well as let the mom know that her role in supporting him is important, whether they separated or together, because we know that when there's a separation with the family, the child suffers, right? And so it's important to let both parents know that both roles is important, whether you're together or not. I think that's most important when we talk about that. When we talk about reading.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Greg, too, because in this scenario with the young fathers, you had some that were together, you had some that were separate, in terms of the mother and the father. And so it's also a balancing act. We talked, one of the things was about, co-parenting, right? And whether you're under the same roof or not, you still have to co-parent. And and communication becomes important. So we talked about different communication styles, emotional intelligence, budgeting and finances. I mean, we had like a series of different workshops. So these young guys in particular got some information I just wish I had. So it was great. It was more like teaching my former younger self.
Younger self. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Because it's important to let someone have a question.
We've got a couple more questions in the chat.
Okay.
So there are two similar questions.
Mhm.
How have you gotten so many fathers to log in and participate? So kind of like a marketing question. And what advice do you have regarding reaching and engaging fathers?
Okay. Well, the first question, as far as how do you get as many fathers to log on and participate, the organizations that I partner with, they kind of do some of their own in-reach and outreach. They have lists that they, have listservs that they've created. So we kind of use that. We do a lot of social media marketing, Instagram, Facebook, and that type of thing where young people are on those. And then we also target like individuals who have either a caseworker or on probation.
Yeah.
So, we do some marketing, some outreach that way. And then also we incentivize the group. So for the young fathers, we had a $400 stipend if you participate.
That's good. Incentive.
We have 12 sessions, right? You have to participate in 5 out of the first 6 to receive the first half of the stipend, which is $200. And then you have to participate 5 out of the next 6 of the second half to receive the other $200 of the stipend. So we incentivize it financially. We give them, some guest speakers. We bring in different experts and things of that sort. So those are some of the ways in which we not only hook them, but keep them engaged. And so also, we just try to create the community. And as they start to come and they start to realize, oh, we can share, and oh, I do feel this way, and oh, others feel this way.
Yeah.
They start to remain.
Yeah.
They retain, I should say.
I like the idea of giving them incentives because that also speaks to helping them be able to provide for their family, or if it's transportation, something that they may need for the family, the incentive, the financial incentive helps them begin to see and learn financial and doing things and being able to provide for their family. Because sometimes some young men, they may not have a job. There may be some incarceration. They're not able to get a job at the time. And so providing them with that financial incentive, it does several things for the father. That's great.
Absolutely. And the other organizations I work with, they might not always give a $400 stipend. You might do something less, you might do something more. But I think that you want to compensate people for their time and for their attention, right? And that's a way to do it. And we don't just give them cash. We try, using Cash App. We give them gift cards, or a Visa gift card, or Amazon gift card, or something like that, a $200 card. So, you can spend it on yourself, but also Target or Amazon has the diapers and the wipes and the things of that sort that you might need on that site. So it's not just take this cash.
Yeah.
We tried that, and then it didn't work as well as we liked it. But the incentives for sure do help. Yes.
Okay. Fine. We have any more questions in the chat before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think we have time for a couple more.
Okay.
So this one is going back to your program that you were speaking about. It's asking, will this be a continuous program that you will be implementing for dads, especially new fathers who are learning and need support?
Great question. As far as I know, I would love it to be continual. This is the second year that I've done it. So, hopefully there'll be a third year. And we do it in the spring, so every spring. So hopefully in the spring of 2024, there would be another one. I would love to continue this, particularly for the young dads. But it is kind of, I'm in partnership with some other organizations. So as they see fit, or as their budget allows, or as their needs change, maybe we continue, maybe we don't. But as far as I know, yes, this will be an annual thing that we do, Fanya.
Okay, thanks. And then one final question in the chat. This is also, again, looking at kind of that engagement. It's asking, have you heard of any networking from like the dads that you have engaged. So are they maybe trying to support others or one another? They desire to continue spreading the word in schools, in their community, in the churches, kind of acting as that, like sort of like an ambassador.
Mm-hmm. Well, we all stay connected through email, so that's one of the ways that we, continue kind of beyond the session dates. And then some of them naturally, if they're in the same area, they kind of, I've seen them gravitate towards each other. You may have two that are in Oakland, two that are in San Francisco, and those two that are in San Francisco may connect with each other. So we kind of keep it organic, let the relationships kind of continue organically. There are other fatherhood organizations that have different events and things, and I'll send them the emails for that and kind of continue to check in with them. Hey, fellas, just hope things are going well. I know our sessions ended, but here's something going on in the city, that you may be able to take advantage of, or you can take your kids to, those types of things. So I'm connected with a couple different fatherhood kind of partnerships in the Bay Area that have different events for dads. And I just send them that information beyond our sessions. But they do ask, can we continue to meet up? But in the interest of our program, it's only X date to Y date. And we,
Okay. And it just have the opportunity to encourage them to do something later too. So we are at a minute, Khalid, and I want you to take a minute and wrap it up, and then we're gonna end the recording. But then I also want to have you guys to stay on for a minute and ask you to please fill out the survey. The link will be in the chat. And so after Khalid wraps up this minute, we're gonna end the recording, and then I would love for you guys to stay and to just fill out the survey and let us know how things is going, because we're going to make sure he gets this information too, so he can move further in what he's doing. So Khalid, take a minute and give us a wrap up.
All right. Well, firstly, again, thank you all for being here and thank you for having me. I want to emphasize the importance of literacy. It's linked to liberation, in my opinion. It's a public health support. It has been, and it continues to be a necessity for our young people to read and to read beyond just their grade level, if at all possible. I think that parents can play a huge role in creating the necessity of reading for kids. And if it's not just books, read them the things off the back of the cereal box. Have them read the newspaper with you. Anything that you can do to kind of support literacy helps. Have them read the captions on the TV, that type of thing. And I would also prefer and would suggest you use physical books as opposed to the ebooks starting off. That's one thing. I also want to say for fathers in specific, continue to be invested and engaged in the lives of your children and the lives of your family. It definitely pays dividends long term, right? If we're talking about investing, the dollar you put in today, you won't receive that $1.50 back the same night. It's a long haul thing. So we continue to invest in the lives of our children, the lives of our communities, and turn around this negative statistics or negative stereotypes that are saddled on fathers and fathers of color, and specific black fathers. But thank you again to Bright Point, Illinois. Thank you for what you all are doing in the land of Lincoln. I love and continue to support what you all are doing, and thank you for the partnership and your support. And yeah, thank you for having me this morning. Readers are leaders.
Thank you, sir. Absolutely. Thank you.